Greetings, beautiful earthlings. My name is Star. If you are new here, I don't know how you found me, but I am so super grateful to have you. And if you are returning, y'all the real MVP, you already know. Today we're going to be talking about the Light Seers. Everyone's favorite deck, right? Everyone's favorite deck. First of all, kiddos, before we get started, let's go ahead and get a drink together. Because this is kind of a cozy corner, just like chatting videos. So get your coffee, get your water, get your tea, whatever you're drinking. Get a drink with me, friends. Sorry, she thirsty. I've been going since about 2 o'clock over here filming today, so I'm gonna start stumbling on my words a little bit, but I'm gonna be done after this one. So, if you guys don't know what the Light Seers is, it's this beautiful deck made by Chris Ann. Who published this deck? Hay House published this deck. Good on you. Good on you, Hay House. Yeah, it's a great deck. You guys have seen me. I've done a million fucking videos on the Light Seers. I will continue to do a million videos on the Light Seers because it's a very popular deck. If you haven't noticed, my most viewed videos on my channel are regarding the Light Seers, my real versus fake Light Seers and my Light Seers review. Yeah, crazy numbers on that thing. So I will always have gratitude for the Light Seers for being the one that just like propelled my channel. I didn't expect that in any capacity. And for those of you guys who are new here, the way that I stumbled on the Light Seers was that I bought a knockoff Light Seers unknowingly from a family friend who had a shop, and she knew it was a knockoff. I did not. And when I bought it, I was like, what is this? And I was very upset about it. So I went and I bought the real Light Seers to, support the artist. And the real Light Seers, clearly, it's a very big deck, right? I talk to you guys about this all the time. The cards themselves aren't very thick, but the deck, when you hold it together, is very thick. It's a very big deck. It's very juicy. And I mean, compared to things like Liminal 11 decks, right, where they're very thick cardstock, but just not as hard to hold. I don't know what it is about the Light Seers that makes it hard to hold. I really don't. I can't pinpoint it. I have handled a lot of tarot decks, and I can't figure out what makes this so hard to shuffle. I just can't. It doesn't bend. They don't bend like really well. I can't really bridge shuffle them. It's just too thick to shuffle. Like, it's a lot. But that's not what we're here for. I was just talking about that one versus the knockoff by accident. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about the Light Seers today was why the Light Seers is such a popular deck. And this is a fun thing that I'm going to talk about here because I'm going outside of normal popularity, right? So if you've seen the Light Seers, it's beautiful imagery. Almost every single reader can vibe with the Light Seers imagery. It's beautiful colors. Look at that. We're breaking stereotypes here. We got an interracial lesbian couple over here on the 10 of Cups. It's a great time. Like, it's a great deck. Beautiful, wonderful. Lots of races, lots of, just representations. It's great. And the colors are incredible. They're so deep, right? Such beautiful, vibrant colors, like such great imagery. A lot of people resonate to it because of like the bohemian feel behind the imagery. And what really got me was actually the Magician card and the Fool card. Oh, thank you, baby. Here's the Magician card. Absolutely stunning, incredible, killer imagery. Look at her. Oh my gosh, I love it. And then the Fool card, we all know it's the girl, yellow dress, standing on the edge of the water with a little crystal in her hand. I'm probably not going to find that. But those are the cards that got me to get this deck. I really at the time needed a deck that I resonated with because I was using a lot of Rider-Waite-Smith, and then I had my Starman Tarot, which was like too big to use, right? And I really needed a deck that I felt like spoke to me. And at the time, I didn't know how big the Light Seers was or was going to be, right? I didn't really know anything about it. I was just looking through tarot decks and the imagery of tarot decks and watching reviews, looking for something that was really speaking to me, to my soul. And the Light Seers got it. It just got me. And I told my aunt, right, I really needed this deck. And I think she had it at the time. I was like, damn, I love this deck so much. I think she didn't like it as much as I did, but like, I really was like, if ever there was a deck that was me, it's that deck. Like, that's as me as it gets, right? This is my favorite card in the deck now, the Nine of Cups. Like, this is so cute to me. If I could put it on a vision board, I would. But outside of not only this being such a big hit, right? Having sold so many copies, having been knocked off so many times, having just such big influence now, however many years after it was created. This deck has become a powerhouse staple in the tarot community, and I can't tell you guys how many people I know I've seen have this deck, read with this deck all over the place. On TikTok, on YouTube, I just see people reading with this deck all the time. And sometimes I get kind of irritated about it, and I'm just like, okay, Light Seers, can I see somebody using a different deck, right? But at the end of the day, the Light Seers is a powerhouse. And why is that? Not only because of the imagery, right? But because you could say things like hysteria, right? If you want to be kind of a jerk about it, like hysteria, everybody hypes it up. It's such a good deck, so people buy it because other people tell them that it's such a good deck, right? Word of mouth is the best marketing. And, you know, you can flip it any which way you want it. It's a beautiful deck. I personally think this is where this gets fun. I personally think that the egregor of the Light Seers is just incredible. So if you don't have the Light Seers deck, I would highly suggest getting it, not because I care, I don't make any money off of it or anything, but because I think everyone should feel the energy of the Light Seers egregor. Not only the fact that you see it fucking everywhere, right? Everywhere. You can type in tarot deck on Google or on Amazon or whatever the fuck. The first couple decks you're gonna get is a Rider-Waite-Smith, the Light Seers, and the Modern Witch. It just is what it is. That's what you get every time. And if you were choosing between the Rider-Waite-Smith, the Modern Witch, and the Light Seers is more aesthetically pleasing, right? The Modern Witch just is the Rider-Waite-Smith, but with women and a little bit more modern. And this is its own deck. It's its own entity. It's its own thing, right? And we can talk about first the intention behind the deck, right? I don't know. To be honest, I haven't watched any Chris Ann interviews or anything. I don't know if any of them exist. They might be in written form on blogs somewhere. I have not done any research into why Chris Ann created this deck. You know, there was that whole thing with the book too. When I first got it, the book is instead of upright and reverse, it's called the light side and the shadow side or something like that. Light seer, shadow seer, things like that. And I was kind of like, what the fuck is this? Like, I didn't really read the book because of that. So I don't know if there's a little note in there from Chris Ann. I do apologize for being disrespectful and not reading your full book. But if there was something in there about why she created the Light Seers or something, you know, and I missed it, that's on me. But someone made a comment the other day about the intention of a deck when it's created. And yes, that's important. It's huge. The intention of a deck when it's created is important because at the end of the day, to you, this is a deck of 78 cards. You have no connection to it other than the connection you put on it, right? However, to the person who created it, they sat there. And if they are also the artist, you know what I mean? Some people collab with artists, but keep going with me on this train here. They sat there with each of these images. Do you know how hard it is to draw 78 cohesive images? I can't even finish one damn drawing. And they have to sit here and create 78 of these and look at them over and over and over and keep editing them. Does this make sense? Does this work for this card? Is this what I want it to look like? What are these little things I'm going to add in there? Then there's the decisions about the cardstock, the cut, the size. Are we going rounded corners, pointy corners? What's the finish going to look like? Are these gilded? Is there going to be a special edition? Is there going to be a mini? Things like that. What does the book look like? Who's writing the book? What's coming out of the book? And all of this takes time. All of this takes time. The person who made the deck took a lot of time to think about it, to conceptualize it, to create it, to bond with these images and these colors and these decisions before it got to your hands in mass market production. So, whatever was going through Chris Ann's head when she was creating this, we'll never know. Only her and her cards will know, right? She put herself in these cards. I like to think of tarot decks, outside of tarot and divination and readings, I like to think of tarot decks as Horcruxes. I know that's kind of terrifying to some of you, but it kind of tickles me. Like, if I were to make a tarot deck, I feel genuinely like it'd be a Horcrux. It'd take a piece of myself. And that's how I see all of these. This is why I have such a deep respect for tarot, because I feel like this has a part of Chris Ann in it. It has a part of Chris Ann and the production team and all of those people, right? Everyone had a hand in it, but at the end of the day, it was just Chris Ann and her mind. And yes, intention is important. Whatever she was thinking while she was coming up with each of these cards, right? Very important. It really helped create the energy of this deck. I have had this argument before on my channel that I don't know if the creator of the deck makes the energy or if we make the energy, right? If the way that we perceive the deck creates its energy, or if it has an energy all in its own. Again, here we are in the realm of the occult, and we will never have answers, right? Never have answers on spiritual questions. But the intention behind this deck, the creation of this deck, all of the love and the power and all of the things that were put in this deck were already big. Were already fucking huge, right? I think their first edition was absolutely stunning. It had like teal gilding on it. Oh, I wish I knew about tarot back then. God, what I would give to have one of those decks, dude. Oh my gosh, beautiful. But now we have the mass market version, right? Which is just, this deck was so good. It was such a hit. We need to get a publisher on board with this. Someone that can back it with the money to put a whole hell of a lot of them out into the world, right? And then we have the fact of this is so popular. This is such a big deck that's selling so many copies. Now we get the knockoffs involved, because the people that want to make that money, that want to take that money from Chris Ann, right? They're like, this is the deck to sell. People want this deck. So I'm going to make a smaller version of this deck, or a more accessible version, a cheaper version, right? Because I know people are looking at this deck and not everybody wants to pay $30 for it, because, America. And all of that, everything I just said to you, all of that energy just creates this giant egregor for the Light Seers Tarot. Giant Light Seers egregor. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. I have just recently started to be able to actually understand and like palpably get into the energy of egregores, and this one is incredible. That's why I'm saying, if you guys don't have this deck, you should probably get this deck. And here I am feeding the damn egregor. I'm making another video about the Light Seers. I'm telling you to go get the Light Seers, right? That's how good this fucking egregor is, you guys. If you don't know what an egregor is, if this is like the first video you've stumbled on of mine, I'm sorry. An egregor is kind of like an energetic thought form. Let me say that slowly, because people freak out when I say that. Basically means that you create the energy, and we're like feeding it by talking about it, right? So something like Star Sparrow, that's an egregor. I created Star Sparrow. I'm not Star Sparrow. At the end of the day, when I'm in my bed with my baby child, or when I go to work, I'm not Star Sparrow, right? I have a whole different fucking person. But the Light Seers egregor is just growing and growing and growing and growing and ever growing, and probably gonna just keep growing, because tarot itself is becoming accepted enough. Tarot and witchcraft, right? Divination all in itself. The amount of people that are stumbling on tarot is big. And that's why even when I started thinking about which channel to make, I went with tarot. I put a bet on tarot, not like with a person, on myself, right? I put a bet that tarot was going to grow. I didn't think that there was going to be witch trials and shit and all of the tarot channels were going to get shut down and we were all going to be executed. Maybe that'll happen and maybe I fucked up, right? But I placed a bet on myself and on my channel that tarot was going to grow in the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and that this is what I wanted to do for the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. This is what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to grow with tarot. And am I wrong? Because if we were to look up how many tarot decks have been created and actually really quantify how much tarot has grown since the 1970s when the US game systems mass marketed the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, it's a lot. Probably like, I always say millions just because like I'm hopeful. I don't know. Could be thousands, could be a million, could be millions, could be... I don't mean like copies. I mean like actual physical decks, like the actual creation of a new deck, right? And new decks are constantly coming out, and that's what I love about this field, is that like you can look on Amazon every couple of months and there's new tarot decks on there. Everybody's releasing new tarot decks. You follow Hay House, you follow Liminal 11, you follow whoever the fuck else publishes tarot decks. I can't see that far. But all of these people are just constantly looking for the next tarot deck, the next thing, because that's the society we live in. We want the next thing, bigger, better, bolder, cheaper, better, more accessible, right? That's what we do here in America. I don't know about the whole world, but like America at least, we want more. We want newer, we want better, we want more improved, right? So that's what they do. And they look for it and they keep going. But something like this little deck right here, this thing, this feels bigger than tarot. This feels bigger than tarot altogether. And I know that seems like a lot to say because some of you are like really hardcore Rider-Waite-Smith people and you're gonna be like, that's sacrilege. I can't believe you just said that's bigger than... I didn't say it was bigger than the Rider-Waite-Smith. I said this was bigger than tarot. All of tarot put together. Tarot is a big egregor, let me tell you, but this little light seers itself is growing, growing, growing. And it feels like it's just on the path to just not stop growing. I feel like a lot of these tarot decks that I have, they stopped growing at some point in time. Like, yeah, they're still going to keep selling copies because they exist, but the egregor itself died down. After the hype of the release and everything, they just died down and they just get muted in the background of all the other tarot decks that exist. But when you're looking up when you look up tarot or tarot deck specifically, you're going to get probably top 5. I would say you're going to get the Marseillaise. I don't know how to fucking say it, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm so tired of people giving me shit on my pronunciation. Anyways, the Marseille, I'm going to say Marseille because that's what I say. The Thoth, I don't give a fuck. The Thoth, the Rider-Waite-Smith, the Modern Witch, and the Light Seers. Those are the top 5 decks you're going to see every single time. Every single time. It doesn't matter where you look. If you're on barnesandnoble.com, if you're on Google, if you're on... I don't know where else they say they sell tarot decks outside of publisher websites, right? I mean, clearly, if you go to the Hay House website, you're going to see the Light Seers. It's over there with the Muse Tarot and the what is it, the Beautiful Creatures or Curious Creatures or some shit like that, and all of the Kyle Gray decks. But you guys, I just love talking about egregors, and when it comes to tarot, when I open my drawer of tarot decks and I go to do a reading, like an actual client reading, and I ask my guides which deck we're going to use, every single time they say the Light Seers, and I fucking argue with them every single time. I'm so tired of using the Light Seers because I can't shuffle it. And what do they say? There's so much energy in that deck, you don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. There are 2 decks that are in every single reading that I do, and that is the White Witch Tarot. White Witch Tarot. It's just majors, and I use it for overall energy. And the Light Seers, which kind of becomes the bulk of my reading. I use a lot of different decks for clarification on different energies, but for the most part, I end up using the Light Seers the whole time. And the more that I use the Light Seers, the more energy that I put into it, the more it grows its energy. Am I right? And the more each of us, think about it, every single person that has the Light Seers, the more each of us bond with it and shuffle it and talk to it and talk about how amazing it is and how beautiful it is and how much we love it, and we recommend it to people and we use it and we read with it, we are also feeding the egregor. And just think about all the new people in the next couple of years that are also going to stumble across the Light Seers, and they are going to love it and talk about it and shuffle it. Mind you, this argument could be made about everything, right? Everything. That's what I love about talking about egregores, because everything is an egregor, and we could really get into it if you want to. But today we're talking about the Light Seers egregor, and I just want to talk about it because, like, I feel like I just barely realized this today when I was talking to my guides about it, and I kind of had like a little argument about using it, and I was like, damn, you're right. I've never felt another deck that has the insane egregor of the Light Seers. I don't mean power, I don't mean wisdom, right? Those are different concepts, those are different decks. I do have decks that I feel are more powerful than the Light Seers, or more, more wise, more strong, more intuitive. I 1000% do. And I don't want you guys to mistake what I'm saying here for like saying the Light Seers is the best deck or the most powerful or the most intuitive. But some people might feel that way, and that's what adds to the egregor. And I'm just talking about the Light Seers Tarot egregor itself. I swear I really hoped that the Modern Witch did what the Light Seers is doing. I wished that it was gonna get as big energetically as the Light Seers, because the Modern Witch is so good, and I push that to so many people all the time. And it's got a deck and a coloring book and a journal and just so much shit. Like, there's so much Modern Witch. But it just doesn't get anywhere as big as that Light Seers, dude. And I don't know if the Light Seers is going to slow down on sucking up energy anytime, but it's incredible. It's incredible. It's immense. It's incredible. And I feel like if there are any of you who are watching my channel who are also like really sensitive to energies and can actually dive into energies and actually like tap into them the way that I can, please, please, please try to channel the Light Seers egregor. Not the Light Seers, not your personal Light Seers, not Chris Ann. Don't get gross, don't get weird. Try to channel the entire egregor of the Light Seers itself and just sit in its energy for a little bit and see what you get, because it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But that's what I got for you today, my friends. I just like talking about egregores and tarot, and that's what I do here. So I decided to mash them up together and just talk to you guys for a little bit, for a little Cozy Corner video, a little Let's Discuss. I think I've actually mashed Let's Discuss and Cozy Corner together recently. Somehow by accident. I've noticed I keep saying Let's Discuss and Cozy Corner together, and I'm so tired of making series on my channel. I keep doing it by accident. I really don't mean to, guys, I promise. If you guys haven't seen my other like Cozy Corner videos, I think I had a Cozy Corner playlist, I had a Let's Discuss playlist, and I throw some of them into the tarot for beginners if they're really informative, so they're just all over the playlists, to be honest. But if you guys made it to the end, please give me a big old thumbs up. That helps me out so very much with my channel, and it brings more people over here to this community so that we can just talk tarot and have a nice little safe space and lots of friends together, and it's a great time. And, if you guys are not already following me on TikTok, please go do so. I'm more of a real person over there, and I do post almost daily over there for the most part. If you want to go check out my Instagram and my Twitter and my Facebook, whatever, all that stuff, it's also in my link tree, so go check it out. My little Etsy shop also does exist if you want something that's handmade if you do want something that's handmade by me for some reason, I do be making things. So, you know, I have a little shop. And I made a new sticker. I think I talked to you guys about that in one of my videos. My little Kirby Four of Swords sticker. Look at him, he's so cute. Oh my goodness. And it's a soft touch sticker. Oh, I love these stickers. I have them everywhere, all over the place. I love, love, love them. They're so cute. This is my first image that I created on Procreate. I was so like proud of myself. I was like, I gotta make stickers. So that's what I got for you today, my friends. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below what you think. For real, I love talking about these things. I love Let's Discuss videos. I love Cozy Corner videos. I love this feel of just being able to like rap at you and you guys jump in the comments, and it makes me feel so good that you guys are actually talking about these things. I do read all of your comments. I see all of them, and I really appreciate all of them, all the love, all the attention, everything. You guys are the absolute best. So I really hope that wherever you are when this video reaches you, my friends, you have a beautiful, wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Blessed be.